Okay, so I know if you read the title and saw the thumbnail that you might be a little bit worried when you click on this video. You might be thinking, oh no, is DOAI canceled? No. I'm just gonna come right out and say, no, Dreams of an Insomniac is not canceled. I have no intention of canceling DOAI, and I don't think I ever will. Also, sorry if in this recording I sound a bit shitty. I'm recovering from a sickness right now and wanted to get this made sooner than later because I wanted to talk with the community a bit about Dreams of an Insomniac, because I feel like, I released quite a few entries for that with Volume 0 and the mini volumes and Volume 1, and I get a lot of people asking, what's the progress update on Volume 2? Oh, are you going to be making a Volume 0 remake before Volume 2? And I've been pretty transparent with my audience about the progress of Dreams of an Insomniac entries, I told everyone that DOAI Volume 2 has not even started yet, and that much is still true. I have not started on that entry yet, and I think recently I've been thinking a lot about that, because, it's very difficult to maintain making like a completely original series as well as the regular YouTube uploads that go into running a channel like the one I have and trying to make it a consistent livelihood for myself. And because of that, I found that DOAI has been pretty difficult to work on. And I guess that has had me thinking a lot, because back whenever I planned to make DOAI, I didn't really plan for that to be the case. I was thinking of having like 1 or 2 major DOAI entries out every year until, the final entry I wanted to do, Volume 6, would eventually come out and the series would be over. However, big thing with a series like DOAI is that I had the pleasure of working on it very, very early into my career because people were very open to the idea of seeing an original horror series from me. And I got very excited about that and immediately got started on my biggest, most ambitious passion project I had in my big list of projects I wanted to work on. And that was both a blessing and what I have realized a bit of a curse. Because the thing is with that, on one hand, working on Volume 0, the mini volumes, Volume 1, had been a blast. It was super fun to create this world and the characters and see them fully realized. And it's also just really cool seeing my own series get covered by other horror channels in a similar way to what I do on my own channel. I just find that very inspiring, and it's been a massive opportunity for me. But I think the issue that I have been faced with DOAI is that I think doing the series the way I have been sets an unrealistic expectation for myself that I need to constantly be working on new entries for it in order to have the series come out and finish and be a full story within, a decent, timely manner. And because of the fact that DOAI is something I work on alongside my main video content, because creating content is both my job and my hobby, I found that oftentimes DOAI does not get prioritized. And because of that, people wait an eternity for what ends up being a small piece of a much bigger project. And that ends up being very daunting for me, I found. I like working on very big videos. I love working on big projects. I mean, I literally just posted a 2-hour video where I just rant about Ultron. But I think where it starts to get daunting for me is when it's a big series that I'm committing to. And I know all that time and effort I'm putting into something is not going towards one finished project I can just put out there and show people, but rather one small piece that doesn't convey the whole picture. And I think upon some reflection, I have felt like I need to do something about that, because I still want DOAI's story to be told. I still want people to be able to experience this passion project that I have poured so much love into. But in order for me to do that and have it be something that my audience and myself can realistically expect to come out in the future and actually be finished, is instead of releasing it as a series, maybe releasing it as a singular project. One big feature-length video that will encompass the entire lore and story I wanted to tell for Dreams of an Insomniac in one complete package. I don't want to release singular chapters one by one every 1 or 2 years. I want to take a longer time to just release the entire thing. Now, I know hearing that might be a little bit concerning, because, I mean, some of you are probably hearing that and thinking, oh, well, wasn't the series going to be like 7 episodes long? How are you going to pack 7 episodes or 7 volumes worth of content into one entry? That might bloat it, or things might be rushed. And that is a concern I have considered, but I think with the approach I have in mind, which I know I have to be vague about it. I'm sorry I have to be vague about it, but I don't want to spoil anything. But with the approach I have in mind for how I would tackle making DOAI a singular project, I think I would be able to effectively convey the story I wanted to tell in a way that justifies the singular video that would encompass the entire story. Now, what does that mean for the entries that are currently out? I'm not sure yet. Obviously, those ones are already going to be outdated. I mean, I was already planning on remaking Volume 0 anyways, so Volume 0 was already outdated by the time Volume 1 had come out. So those entries, they kind of represent the story as it is now, but when the full thing comes out, I'm probably going to rework and change DOAI a bit to fit this new structure that I plan to have it conveyed in. And hell, I might change the story a little bit because, I came up with the story a few years ago, back whenever I was very excited to just start working on an original series, and there were some details and world building elements and things that I didn't really think of or I left out that I think would be cool to include now. So yeah, that's the current roadmap I have in mind for Dreams of an Insomniac. I know some people are probably going to watch this and be a little bit disappointed because, they were looking forward to these entries that were already happening, and, maybe the story is not going to be the exact same as the one people were following, and they might be a little bit disappointed by that. But for those people who may be a little bit disappointed upon hearing this, I guess a couple things to say to that is, one, DOAI is not going to be the only original creative work that I make for the channel. Part of the reason why making such a long, episodic series was such a daunting thing to me was because DOAI is not the only creative project I wanted to make. It is my favorite I came up with, but it is not the only one I've wanted to make. With DOAI now being relegated to being a bigger singular project rather than 7 entries, it's going to give me time to work on those smaller original projects to give you guys something to enjoy while I work on DOAI, and it'll give me more experience creating original projects so that whenever I eventually start my big, ambitious passion project, I'll have a better understanding of my own limitations and what I'm capable of directing as a project. And as well as that, I guess to put your mind at ease, with this approach to DOAI for the future of having it be this one big thing, I think it's going to be more creatively fulfilling for myself, and it's going to be more satisfying for you guys as my audience. Because if DOAI comes out as one big entry, yeah, maybe you'll wait a little bit longer, or quite a bit longer, than waiting for a singular entry. But would you rather wait 1 year or 2 for one entry of 7? Or would you rather wait that same time or a bit longer for one big complete package that'll tell the entire story that you have invested your time into? I just personally think that the latter is more appealing to the audience, and I think it would be much more creatively fulfilling for myself as somebody who just enjoys creating projects like that. So yeah, I just wanted to record this update so that people wouldn't have to worry about constantly wondering if DOAI is like mysteriously canceled or whatever, because I like to be transparent with my audience. And I'm also kind of just putting this here for myself so that I know that this is an idea I can commit to. Because pondering about it and constantly thinking, will I do this? Will I do this? Makes it hard to actually motivate myself to sit down and do it. But actually sitting here and recording this and posting it and letting you guys know this is how things are now, that kind of gives me the push I need to get started on doing the series like this. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the future of this series. I hope you guys are excited for where it goes. And yeah, I guess as I say in my regular videos, goodbye for now.